Just sitting here as you're talking, thinking about all the other energy trainings and other trainings that I've done, and I've done a lot, and there's nothing that has given me anything like what I get in Amanae. And it's very difficult to put into words, but it's around what you're saying about feeling like I can meet myself with another person there, but it's a completely different, it's like a purer way, like a stronger, deeper way. I can go as deep as I like inside myself within, with someone else there, present. And it's really, really powerful. It's more powerful than sitting talking, much more powerful.
For me, it's like that fullness of the presence. Yeah, I can feel what you say in that. Sorry, my voice. Is that it feels for me like I can be fully myself. Like it's like you go through the edges of your skin and more, and it's completely, and it's like. And at the same time, the vulnerability is so strong. But it gives you like a strength. It's really interesting how, no? It's like you are there. And the fullness of both extremes that I find incredible.
I think there's also something about being with what is as well, you know, so almost like detaching yourself from a need for life to be a certain way, for yourself to be a certain way, for circumstances to be a certain way, and it's like, okay, meet what is right now and feel it, and there's some sort of huge release from all the tricks that the mind plays of trying to make things different than they are, or thinking they should be different. So I don't know, something around like not being attached to, I don't know, all sorts of different things.
Well, I think it's the heart energy. I think when we really connect to that heart vibration, the energy vibration of the energy in our heart, I think it gives us that ability to be able to meet whatever's there and to allow what is, like you're saying. Because I hear that in lots of other, modalities, everything's welcome to be with what's here. But really, if it gets tested out, often things are not really welcomed because people are afraid. I think it's very deep in our culture to be afraid of rage, hatred, jealousy, dislike, all these things. When actually they're just energies, and we need to be able to feel feel the energy of our heart to be able to touch those things without being afraid, or to feel the fear of them as well. And then as we feel the fear of them, the feeling of it somehow dissolves it because it's being met, it's being felt.
Yeah, I think for me it's been a great learning to meet those energies like more. There is something that is part of myself that is coming, but I think that we learned in this, we learned since we are children to reject some part of us because they feel too intense or they feel really difficult, and we need to kind of match, or they are inconvenient, or they are gross and intense, or not likable, or not beautiful, and for me it's been like, it's like I learned to reject part of myself, and it's so nice, it's so beautiful that instead of that, it's like to be able to embrace me more and more and more. And in that way also, I can embrace people in other ways, no? And more fully. And it's not reject things that don't look as they should. That they, as you say, Susie, like I used to need to change life to fit certain image. And with Amanae, it's more like the expansion of the heart and the expansion of the hug and the embrace of more, no?
And I'd take that even further, and I know you would agree with this from what we've talked about before, but that expansion also then includes lots of different dimensions. So, the spiritual dimension, the past life dimension, the generational trauma dimensions. And I think we don't have to think those things, but, for many of us, those things seem to arise. And energetically they come up in our bodies when we're working sometimes. And again, we don't have to know what they are, but we can have very powerful images or body memories around these things. And when they're met and welcomed, it becomes not something to be frightened of, but something to be curious about and interested in and welcoming of. And that's so different, so countercultural, I think, in the way you're talking about. And it's exciting, I think, when we know we can accept these things, life becomes exciting rather than scary. And that's a big deal these days, I think. So much fear around everything, and it's almost encouraged to be afraid of ourselves, to be afraid of our emotions, our spiritual life, the possibility of who we are.
And we're encouraged, and we learn how to create walls, no, of protection. Instead of opening, is how to protect myself from. And here is, for me at least, is the real freedom. If I
freedom, did you say?
Freedom, If I can meet this, if I can allow this, if I can go towards that instead of, trying to protect or the need to protect myself from everything, that is the real freedom, the real encounter with life.
And it takes huge courage, I think, sometimes, because we've been taught to be so frightened. I think it's the most courageous thing we can do, is to breathe consciously into our bodies and not know what we're going to find, and open up to whatever we might find. So I think it's really courageous, but that's why that's why it creates such freedom. Because if we meet the things we're frightened of, then we're no longer frightened of them, we're free. And those things dissolve into the reality that they are, which is just energy. Freedom is just energy. It's not really a thing. That's a thought I just had. I don't know if that's right or not.
I think there's something else about once you strip away all that doesn't belong, and you're left with this, courageous, free being. I think it's a way of really seeing your own true value as well, and also to stand next to other people and see them just as they are, without trying to modify them in any way or needing them to be different, or just experience people and to be able to give them space to be themselves too.